So 17 members already submitted. Let me wait a few seconds longer. So up to now, it's quite balanced. The instruction is also in the chat box. Okay, so I can see that it's actually quite balanced for the participants that participated in this exercise. So 12 participants say yes, 14 participants say no. So we have a good balance there. So what we can do is maybe come back later to the slides. So the live polling can still continue. You can find the code in the chat box. But while we continue this exercise and come back to the slide later, we will now proceed in the presentation. And next up in our agenda is how you can become a Google Classroom Master. So later on, my colleague Norbert Bolla will give a live demonstration on how you can become a Google Classroom Master and improve your technical skills. But first, we would like to take you through the 3 main sections you will need to get familiar with in order to become a master in Google Classroom. When you will enter the Google Classroom, there will be 3 very important sections. First of all, you will see the Stream tab, where you will be able to communicate with your learners and with other teachers. Then there's also another tab called Classwork. This tab mainly focuses on sharing your resources and assignments. And next, there is a People tab. The People tab focuses on how you can invite other learners or teachers to your virtual online classroom. So if you need, later on, Norbert will give a demonstration and he will mainly focus on these 3 main sections: the Stream, the Classwork, and the People. Let's have a more detailed look at those 3 sections. So again, the Stream section will allow you to communicate with your learners. More detailed, you will be able to create and schedule announcements, and you will be able to respond to your students. When Norbert will talk about the Classwork tab, it will allow you to create and organize your classwork. For example, you can create assignments and questions with different question types, for example, a multiple choice. You will be able to create topics and organize them according to your needs. And lastly, the 3rd tab will be People, which will allow you to invite learners to your class. This being said, I will now give the floor or the stage to Norbert Bolla. So I will stop sharing my screen so Norbert can give a live demonstration on Google Classroom. So Norbert, not yet. I will give you permission now to share your screen.
Thank you.
Okay, Norbert, normally you should be able to share your screen.
Okay. So, Stephanie, maybe if I can just highlight to colleagues such that they know what is happening. Norbert will be sharing his screen through my account, so that we have a nice demonstration.
Okay, great. We are seeing it. You can go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much, Stephanie. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Norbert, and I want to take you through the tutorial, starting from scratch, how you can get into the Google Classroom and create your class. You have to be logged in into your Google account. So on this page, you can see I'm already logged into my account. and my Gmail account. So you can log in by actually signing in classroom.google.com. So I'll do that. .google.com. So the moment I do that, I'll be taken to the teacher's view of the class. As you see here, I already have an existing class, and that class has appeared. Okay, this class has appeared, but if I didn't have a class, or even before I take you there, you have the apps, the Google apps here. If you want to go to create your class, you can use the other alternative of classroom.google.com, and then it will bring you the teacher's view of your class before the creation of the class. The other thing you can do is to go to your Google Apps. So once you click there, all the applications of the G Suite will appear. And once they appear, you scroll down and then you see the classroom application there. So when you click on it, it will still take you to the teacher's view of the Google Classroom. So my class is already there. This is an existing class. So that's the reason why you are seeing this class here. But in case you don't have a class and you have not created a class yet, what should you do? You click on this plus sign. When you click on it, it will give you two options. There's the join class, and then there's the create class. Now the join class is for the students. The students will actually join your class when you give them the code. Of course, now you can't join the class because you're not a student and the class is not yet created. So we shall go here to create the class. I want to create my new class. So I'll click there. Now when you see this tab coming here, now the Google Classroom can be used as a G Suite for Education account where the institution can have their account and it is managed by the institution, and then you can have it as an institution and the teachers will go there. But you can also have your own private class and as a teacher, a single teacher or lecturer, and then you have your own personal account. So what I'm going to do is to click here and then continue. Yeah, so my class is here. So once this tab comes in, you have to name your class. So my class, let me name my class. Let me say this is music class. Okay. The section, let me put my section. I think, let me call my section year 1. The subject is music. Sorry. And then the room where I teach my class, I can call it room 10. So after you have put in all that information, you go down and create your class. So when I click here, my class is creating now. My class is creating. You have to give it some time to create your class. I'm waiting for it to bring the created class. Just give it a few minutes. Yes. So I think you can now see my class is created. My class is music class year 1, and they have even given me a class code. The class code is here, and you can even see it. That's my class code. So this is automatically generated for each class you create. So now the classroom for the teacher, the wall view is here. This is the wall view. It has 4 tabs. We have the stream, we have the classroom, classwork, and the people there. Of course, it has the grades and the marks. But for today, we are going to concentrate on the 3 as already highlighted in the previous presenters. So we are going to look at the stream. We are going to look at the stream, but even before I look at the stream, before your class is created, when you go to click on the create class, before this teacher's view appears, you're supposed to choose your role. There will be a tab that will request you to state whether you are a student or you are a teacher. That one did not appear here because I already had my class, and but it will appear, and then you choose your role, and then of course now I'm a teacher in this classroom here. So now we have 4 tabs. We have the stream, we have the classwork, the people, and the grades. I'm going to concentrate on these 3, stream, classroom, and the people, so that people can get on. So the stream, what do we use the stream for? The stream is the tab that we use for information, messaging. It is used basically for communication. Students can comment as you comment. You can give your class reminders. You can even give campus announcements. By the way, you can even go and send a friendly message to your students. It's not restricted in any way. So it is basically for communication purposes. So I want to do something. When you look here, share something with your class. So let me make an announcement to my class. This is my music class, and my music class, I want to send something, share something. So what do I want to tell them? Let me tell them something. Dear class, get ready to do my assignments starting Monday next week. So that is an announcement which I want to send to my class. But before I send my announcement or my communication, I can decide to add something there. Of course, when you look at this, there's that add. What are you supposed to add? If you're sending any material to your students, you can decide to send an attachment to accompany the assignment. Now, this is just an announcement, but if it was an academic material, I could click here and add something, okay? So now my class is supposed to get ready for my assignment. So let me pick something from the Google Drive or link or file or the YouTube, a variety of sources where you can pick something to attach to your assignment. So today, I am going to choose something from my Google Drive to accompany this assignment, because the assignments that I'm going to do should be well prepared for. So I've clicked there. So when I go to my drive, yes, in my drive, I have some things there. So let me pick this one. So I'm adding it there. So that is a material my students should look at. It is actually an attachment. It's from my drive, and I decided to pick it from the drive. But you can even pick a file, or you can pick anything from YouTube or whatever, as long as it is in line with your stream, your message that you have sent. So I have decided that my students can look at this attachment from my drive in preparation for the assignments, which will start next week on Monday, okay? So that is something that I can do. So you can even communicate with the class here, okay? I can create and schedule the announcement. I can also respond to the students' feedback about this very same thing, which I have posted. But before I do all that, or after I've done all that, I'm not going to use this today, but I want to see now. I've created my announcement and I want to post it. But before I post it, I can even drop down the box here to see my assignment is ready, my message is ready to my class, and I want to post it. But before I post it, I can even decide to schedule it. So let me schedule it. Which date do I want to put it? Maybe I want to post it on Monday. So I click there, and Monday is the date when I want to, Monday 22nd, yeah? Now let me put it earlier so that I want to post it on 19th, Friday, tomorrow. So the other thing is I want to put a time. I can decide to put a time by 4 p.m. Okay, so I'm scheduling. The schedule is actually to help you when you want them to receive it. You can plan ahead, so I'm scheduling, okay? So that's when I want them to get it, okay? And that's what they'll get it then, okay? So that is about the stream. Now, you can send as many things as possible. You can send your materials from here. You can post reminders to your students. You can even send friendly messages, and that is what the stream is supposed to do. Actually, the stream is a communication kind of tab where you can communicate with your class with anything that you may wish. I would like now to go to, I want to go to the Classwork tab. The Classwork tab is the tab where you can do many things. If I click here, you're going to see what I can do with the classwork. That's where all the work that you send to your students will appear. You have, when you click here, you'll see. You can send an assignment, you can send an assignment quiz, you can send a question. You can just send a material for them to look at. Like you saw, I did it already. In my stream, I sent a material for them to get prepared for the assignments, which will start on Monday. So these first three, the assignment, the quiz assignment, and the question, almost have the same pattern of how you can prepare. Let me choose the question, okay? Now, the question, I want to give a very short question. And my question is, what is music? Okay, that's my question. And now, after you have written your question, there are two options. You can decide to have your question come as a short answer, or you can have your students answering, I mean, your answers coming in multiple choice. So you can choose as a teacher, whatever option you may think you may wish to use. In my case today, I want to use the short answer because my question is some question which is straight. I want my students to answer in short. But you can also give instructions. You can give instructions on how the learner should answer your question. So I can give, write, I'm giving the instruction now, write 2 sentences. Write 2 sentences in your answer using real life examples. So those are the instructions. I want them to give me 2 sentences. As they answer this question, they should give me two sentences, but using real life examples. That's what I want to do in my question here. You can even decide to add something. This time I'm not going to add something, but you can source something from your Google Drive. You can even provide a link which will help them to answer the question. You can choose a file which will help them to understand the question or source some more knowledge or something from the YouTube. So you also have that option to choose some attachment that you can attach to the question so that the learners can answer the question to the best of their knowledge. But there's also this one, the create. If you want to attach something new, you can click on the create. You want to attach a document, a slide, a sheet, a drawing, or even a form, Google Forms or whatever, slides or documents. So those are for the new attachments that you may want to attach with the question. So those ones are just to help you to attach any additional attachments for your question. This one is for the new, and this one is for those ones which are already in your storage of your gadget. Now, when you look on my right side, before I ask the question, because I'm just creating the question, this question I've set here is for my music class, which I've created already, okay? And I want this question to go to all the students, but you can also decide to send it to specific students if it is just something that you may wish. It depends. Now we also have the points here. You can see my question is ungraded. So depending on the nature of your question, you can decide to grade. So I think since they are giving 2 sentences, I decide that each sentence will be 5 marks, for example. So I've given 10 marks for total points. And because you have to think ahead about the marking, how you're going to mark and allocate the marks. So there is also a due date for this question. When should they? So when should they do this question? Maybe they should do this question on the 23rd. You can make a schedule. Remember we said that you can schedule. Then the time, okay, you can decide that they have to send their question by 2 p.m. That's for handing in. So I have scheduled. But there's also one other thing. You can decide to put your question under a topic. So let me create a topic for this very work I've done. And I'm going to call it General Music Knowledge. Okay. General music knowledge. That is what I've decided. There's another option down here. There's one which is ticked here, which says students can reply to each other. That is if you wish so as a teacher, or students can edit the answer. When the students can reply to each other, it means that they can share their answers after they have answered the question. In my case, I'm not buying this. Let me remove it, and then I want the students to edit the answer. So after everything is fine, this teacher's view, you can decide to ask your question. But before I ask, I can even decide to schedule when to ask, or save it in my draft so that I can ask it at a future date. Right now, I want to ask this question instantly. So here I go. So my question is now sent, and my students will be able to see. The moment you create your topic, on your left side, you see the topic reflecting here. So the topic has already reflected in my new class. If I had another topic, it will also be listed here. So this is general music knowledge, and this is my question, right? So that is the classwork. So you can add as many more assignments and classwork that you may wish your students to do. I right now go to the last, and that is the people. Now, on the teacher's view, the people, we have 2 types of people. We have the teachers, we also have the students. Google Classroom is so nice that you can even decide to have a peer teacher or your colleague or a friend to come and co-teach with you. So I can decide to invite a teacher to teach with me. So when you click here, you'll see, I want to invite a teacher. So let me invite a teacher here. Let me see if I can get, yeah. Let me invite this teacher here. This teacher here is here. Yeah, I've invited. I've decided to use that. Of course, I have the email here. Then you invite the teacher. So I can invite a teacher there. You can even invite an administrator to be in your class. Once somebody is invited, should accept the invitation. You can see I've invited Hannah Nayoga, but she hasn't replied the invitation so that she can get into the classroom. So she has to accept the invitation. Otherwise, she will be out of the class. Now let me go to the students. The students, you can invite them in 2 ways. There's the manual way of inviting students. You just click there. you type in, let me type, yeah. Let me invite Naova Sarah as my student. Yeah. So Naova is here, she's invited. Let me invite just one more. Let me also invite Namara Annette. So you click there to invite the person. So I've invited 2 students and the list can continue and continue. You can invite as many people as you may wish, as in your class, and the list will actually be generated alphabetically. You can see A to Z. So once these students are invited, they must accept the invitation. Otherwise, they will be left out of the class. Once they have accepted, that's the entry to the class. There is also another way of how to invite the students. And this one is by sharing the links. Let me take you back to the stream. You see, when my class was created, a class code was generated. You see, this is the class code. So this class code was, is 66, I think you can see it. Yeah. So once you share it, whether on WhatsApp or Facebook to the students, they can just input classroom.google.com, and then you remember I showed you the plus sign where you can join the class. So they will input the class code, and then they will be able to enter the class as students by mere putting the code. So those are the 2 ways how you can invite people. One, you can invite them by putting them in manually, putting the emails manually, or you can use the class code, right? I think that is all about it. Stephanie? Yes, can I now take you to my other, I have already a class here, yeah? I already had a class which was active, so you saw my class coming there, okay? So when I created my class, this class is the one we have just created, but there's also one here, which I already had, remember when you saw my teacher's view? So I want to take you through and just a hint, just very few minutes. So I still have the stream, classwork, people, and grades. So in my class, I already shared something, and you can see I posted some new material in Western music already, and my students actually can see it straight away. It is something about guitar chords, okay? Yeah, I think you've seen it. The moment now the students in their students view, they also have a stream, classwork, and people. So once they go to their stream, they will be able to click on the material directly and see it, just like we have done here, okay? So this is my material, okay? Now, once you go down here, you can see, in my stream, I have other materials which I have actually sent to my students, but I want to share something about feedback from the students. The students can give you feedback. Like you can see, there are some 3 comments. When I posted some work, some students actually thanked me for the great work I was doing with them. Let me show you just one more. Yes, because you can get feedback and comments from your students. There's this one here. Thanks, our beloved teacher, but I wanted to show you something which was much more, yes, it's just down here. Yes, yes, there's this one. I sent some work and what is your definition of music? And the student actually gave a class comment and said, music is an organized sound and so on, okay? So you can get instant feedback from the students, and students can add their comments. So let me now take you to my classroom. Now on in already my existing class, all my topics are already there. You can see we have rudiments, we have music symbols, we have history and literature of music, Western music theory, orals. If I added another topic, it will also be listed down here. So you can see all the topics are all organized in the order of how I was creating them. So when I scroll down, you can see my rudiments. I've posted something. I posted something last night, 12:30 a.m. I also posted something on music symbols. Yeah. And Google Classroom can really organize you. It organizes your topics accordingly. And you can see all my topics are well arranged. And I think that is it. Now let's go to the people. Yeah. When you look at the people, in my class, I have a co-teacher. This is my head of department down in Mwende. I invited her to use, she's also sending some work to the students because we're focusing on the same students. I invited Hannah there to oversee. Of course, that was just at that time when she wanted to experience the Google Classroom. And my students list is here. Now, I was telling you that the list will be generated. Yeah. And all those students who have been invited will be there. The student, I invited her twice because she didn't respond to the invitation. I think that is all about it. And of course, the grades, you can work on the grades and the grades will be generated automatically. Thank you very much. I think that's about it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Norbert, for that very, very, very nice presentation or demonstration on Google Classroom. I think you are really a digital ninja. And actually, if we have to summarize your demonstration, you showed us how we can access Google Classroom, how to create a class, how we can communicate with the students in the stream, how to create assignments, and how to add learners. So you really, really covered those steps very well, and we were very happy to listen to you. Norbert, I'm very sure you can see the slides. Are you ready to keep on presenting and share us some tips for making Google Classroom more engaging and interactive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, we have the tips for making Google Classroom more engaging and interactive. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that Google Classroom is an online digital LMS. An LMS is just a learning management system, of course, which uses e-learning, and you can use it for interacting with your learners. You saw how I would send a comment and the students were actually sending feedback, commenting about the classwork, commenting about whatever I sent them. So you can use a variety of media and formats as materials to your videos. You can use announcements. You can use documents. You can even use pictures. The list is endless. You can send everything to your students and they will actually look at them interactively and they will get engaged. It can also encourage discussion between the learners because the teacher can discuss separately with each learner because each learner has its own capabilities. So learners can email you and ask something or comment about something, and then you give back positive feedback about what they have asked. So it can encourage discussion between the learners and the teacher, but of course they can also interact and discuss amongst themselves. Okay. I get the next slide, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Norbert. So these are very useful tips to encourage interaction and discussion within Google Classroom. Another thing that we would like to share with you is the following. If you need more tips on Google Classroom, there's actually a very, very nice Google for Education Teacher Center, which has a very elaborate section on how to use Google Classroom. One of the questions in the chat box I've seen so far was about grading. In this COP, we did not focus on how to grade students in Google Classroom. We focused more on how you can, on interaction, on communication, on making assignments, and keeping your students engaged in learning. So grading is optional, and you can also assign grades in Google Classroom. But again, it's optional. And if you click on the link, there will be very nice short videos of 3 minutes who explain into detail how you can use it. But again, we did not focus on it in this COP yet. Maybe in another COP we can come back to this, as we think it's a more advanced level of Google Classroom. But if you're already ready to take your skills to the next level, we kindly refer to go to this Google for Education Training Center. Next up, we would like to share some good practices on Google Classroom. We already had Norbert showing his Google Classroom, where he was interacting with his students and sharing very nice assignments with them. But actually, during the hackathon, we discovered a few other people who already have Google Classroom in use. And we would be very happy if they could take the stage and pitch what they like about Google Classroom. So therefore, I will kindly invite Bridget from NTC Muni to take the microphone and share briefly her good practice on Google Classroom with us. So Bridget, you can unmute your microphone and take the stage.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Good afternoon, everybody. I may not share my screen, but Google Classroom is a very good tool that you can use to enhance your teaching and learning. It helps teachers to assign tasks more easily because it integrates the assignment files and documents more efficiently with Google Drive. Just as you saw Norbert was demonstrating, he's able to integrate his documents and his files easily, and it arranges files automatically. And one thing that I like really from Google Classroom so much is that it keeps track of records that have been done, both from the teacher side and the learner side. So you are not kept off topic or you are not kept off side. For example, a learner cannot have an excuse of saying that maybe I didn't do the work or I did it when really the learner has not done the work, because the evidence is always kept. Another good thing with it is it has the cloud storage. So everything there is on cloud and it is stored. And it also helps you to do away with paperwork, basically. You are more engaged also with the learners. The learners also keep learning new technique and new tools in ICT that can really enhance also their learning, and it is very interesting. And the most, let me say, a challenge, but it is not a challenge really much, that I see with it is at times when there is no internet. Yeah, I have seen in the chat many people were complaining about the internet and what have you. But the challenge of internet, me personally, I avoided it with my learners in such a way that I design this work and I tell them they can download it and print it. After downloading and printing it, they can do the work and then take screenshot of what they have done from the computer, and they upload it to my email. They send it to me as an attachment and I can download it. After that, I can be able to mark their work. Okay, so it has been a very good thing for me. I think that it is the best tool that we can use for teaching and learning, because personally I have used it even in this lockdown, and we are engaged with my learners on it and they have no problem. The only problem was the internet issue, but when I told them they can do that, I gave them a solution. They have embraced it 100% and they're very happy with that. I think if I'm given the chance to share my screen, you can see the comments that my learners give. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Bridget. Maybe we can find a way to share your screen later or share your good practice on another way with the members in this call. But for now, and also in the interest of time, we would like to give the floor also to Daphne Okelo from NTC Onyama. Daphne also gave a very nice pitch in the hackathon. And we would like to hear from her and share her good practice on Google Classroom, a kind of inspirational speech with us. So Daphne, can you please take the stage and share your experience with us? And Bridget, thank you once more.
Thank you very much, Stephanie, and all members who are present. Google Classroom is a very, very beautiful app that we all have to embrace. Like say it's a free web. It helps teachers and learners to interface. And who wouldn't want to interface with his or her learners? It's very simple and you don't need to be a ninja. Provided you have a Google account, you will be able to access the Google Classroom. The most important thing is that it enables a teacher to create an online classroom. And that means you can be anywhere and your class will have to carry on. You don't need to be in the actual building to have a Google Classroom. And that's why it's a very important thing. One good thing I've seen with it also is that it can enable you to differentiate your learners according to their abilities. We have learners who are slow, we have learners who are fast, then we have learners who don't want to do work. And since you can differentiate them, you put them in, then follow them up individually. In that way, you'll have brought all the learners on board. You can also create multiple classrooms and attend to your learners. Then as a teacher, Google Classroom helps you to give immediate feedback to your learners. You're able to look at their work and give the comments and then correct them. And that means it's a very interactive class and you don't need to keep up from it. And you may want to be absent for a week without interacting with your class. What you do, plan your work, post it there, schedule the calendar, and when it is due, that work will reach them. Then they will do it instantly. You may also want to engage the parents or guardians right now, because some of them are very reluctant. So the guardians can follow them up, much as they may not be in the classroom. And that's why I say it's a very good thing that we need to embrace. Another thing you have to know is that it's collaborative. You collaborate with the learners and then you collaborate with fellow teachers. Even some people outside your institution can be invited and you work with them. And you'll find that you have very authentic work. So you can also modify your work anytime and you reuse it. Like it is said, you can integrate very many tools and have your Google Classroom functional. The only challenge I've seen is that at times students fail to navigate. And another thing is that once you post work, students have the option of editing it. It is now theirs. That's the challenge I've seen. But with editing, I've taken time to guide them. Through their WhatsApp groups, I advise them on how to navigate, how to access, how to join the Google Classroom. And they're all there right now. I don't have any problem with them. And my students are very positive, they like it. And at times when I delay, they tell me, Madam, you've not put some work, please put it. And I go ahead and do that. So dear colleagues, Google Classroom is good and Google is always improving on the system. And that means we can use it. I said you don't need to be a ninja. I'm not a ninja, but I'm there and life is going on. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Daphne, for this very, very nice inspirational speech, for sharing with us the benefits of Google Classroom you experience, but also your challenges. I think the message is we are all learning while we are doing, and it's very good to put our knowledge into practice. So thank you very much for sharing those good practices. Next up, I will take you to a question and answer round. As we are a bit over time, so in the interest of time, we will keep this question answer session very short, but you can also ask your questions in the chat box and we will follow up on them. I already see a hand from Annette, so Annette, you can take the stage and ask your question.
Thank you, Stefan. Good afternoon, colleagues. My question goes to Daphne. I had put it in the chat, but it's like you didn't see it. I was asking her to help me how to engage, how one can engage the parents and guardians in the Google Classroom. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Annette. So you can engage parents, for example, in the Google Classroom. You do this the same way you add your students. So that's from the technical point of view. You can just add their email address with them. So parents, if you want them in the Google Classroom, they need to have a Google account. But to engage them, I think it depends a bit from every teacher on how they want to include parents in Google Classroom, but I remember well this question was for Daphne. Daphne, maybe you want to say something about this or answer on Annette's question on how to include other people apart from students in the Google Classroom. Daphne?
Thank you, Stefan. Agnes, you may add them, like Stefan has said on the Google, when you go to people, as Norbert was explaining, and add through their emails, but parents are not supposed to comment. They are just to follow up. So you have their emails and the learners' emails, and when you add them, they will be tracking their children and they'll be talking to the children, but they will not be active participants in the classroom. So you just add them using their emails and they will not actively participate, but they will help you to monitor the learning process or the learning stages of the students. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Daphne, and thank you, Annette, for this very good question. I also see a hand from Moses Musisi. So Moses, kindly take the stage.
Okay, thank you so much. I have seen a discussion in our chat talking about learners not having internet or the internet expiring or having to go there every time. The issue here is that we have a remedy which could be a timetable. So if you have major events within the week and inform learners, maybe you have an online meeting. When you're online, you inform them that this week we are having 5 or 3 major events and you can space them within two days each event. Then a learner can time himself in 2 days, maybe he comes and visits the Google Classroom after 2 days. So that can save learners, those who say, I don't have data, maybe my data expires every time I have to be checking, I'm suspecting something might be there, yet I don't know. So if you give them the major events for the week, then they can space themselves and know that maybe after 2 days, I'll be there, every after day, depending on the major events which have been given and the time given for that week. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Moses, for giving this very, very good tip. So this is a very good, I think, a very nice tip and other angle to look at Google Classroom, very good mitigation. So we appreciate a lot that you share this with us, Moses. There's one more hand from Sheila. So Sheila, you can ask your question and then we will proceed in our presentation. So Sheila? Can you?
Yes, thank you very much, Stephanie. My question, I posted it on the chat, but no one answered it. I wanted to know if there is a limit for the number of students we enroll in Google Classroom. Having it in mind that we have different numbers of students, so is there a limit for both teachers and students? Thank you.
Okay, maybe I see a hand of Norbert. Norbert, do you want to answer on this question?
Yes, I want to answer that question.
Okay.
Yes, the number of students that you can have on your Google Classroom is 250 maximum. 250. So even if you have sections of your class, for those big classes which are teaching psychology, you can group them. So the maximum number of students is 250. Is that answered?
Yes, thank you very much, Norbert. So indeed, the maximum number is 250. So thank you very much. I don't see any other questions. Or I don't see any other hands raised. So I think we are good with the Q&A session. If you have more questions, kindly write to us in the chat box, or if you need more help or more elaboration or information about something, please write to us in the chat box. Coming to an end, we would like to end this meeting on a positive note, and we will do the following. We already did it a few times, but we would like you to express in one word how you feel about today's community. So the creativity for this closing activity is to express how you feel in one word. To do this, you can go to another tab in your browser or another device. Again, we need you to go to the website menti.com, so www.menti.com, and you fill in the code 133258. And then you can type your word and click on submit. If you are able to do this, the results will be reflected in the next slide, and we will be very happy to get your impressions all together in one word crowd. So kindly take a few seconds to do this. I will also put these instructions in the chat box. We hope this helps as well to copy the codes and go to the website. Let me take you to the next slide. Okay, so here you can see the words coming in live. So I don't know whether this needs a lot of oral explanation, but I hope you can see them. So we have interesting, wonderful, enthusiastic, insightful as well. We have someone saying, wow, I love that expression, amazing, engaging, well designed, cost effectiveness, that's also a good one. I can also see that a lot of people are excited, or at least this is reflected in the words you are sharing. Brilliant work. I think this one goes to Norbert because of his brilliant demonstration on Google Classroom, and so on. So while this exercise continues, I will be very happy to take you to some last slides where we will share with you some very important information. And first of all, we would like to share this with you. We need your input and support, and this is very important for us. We have created a questionnaire on distance learning, and we need you to help us identify the current practices used by NTC staff for distance learning and get feedback on the communities of practice. So with this, we would be very happy. And we would like you to take the questionnaire by going to the following link. You can see the link over here, and we will also put it in the chat box. Let me do it right now. So if you currently go to the chat box, you will see a link sent by the host, TTE. And if you click on this link, you will enter a questionnaire. So this questionnaire, again, is for us, for the TTE project, to get feedback on our communities of practice and to identify the next communities of practice we want to do. And for this, we would really like your input. The deadline for this questionnaire is already quite early, meaning next Tuesday, 23rd of June. So it's quite short notice, but also the questionnaire does not take a lot of time to do. So we would be very happy to receive your input and you to take the questionnaire by going to it, clicking on the link, and the deadline is 23rd of June 2020. If you need more information about this, I'm very sure your FCs will be happy to help you or to provide the link once more to you. Then I would also like to share this with you. Again, you can find us on the One-Stop portal, where you will find the training materials of this Google Classroom community of practice, a recording of this community of practice. And again, we share the link to the One-Stop portal with you. And we would like to mention once more that the ICT help desk members are there and ready to support you. And you can also find an overview of the members and their contacts on the One-Stop portal. This being said, we would like to invite you to the 5th community of practice. Time flies when you're having fun. We are already at our 5th community of practice, and this one will happen next week, June 25th at 2:30 p.m. And we will focus on Padlet. Padlet is a tool that was introduced in the training on ICT and teaching and learning, which took place in all the colleges. But we would be happy to retake it and look more into detail to it. We know it's a very popular tool, so we will be very happy to have you on board next week again. Last but not least, we wish you good luck, but we would also like to close this meeting with giving the floor to someone of the Ministry of Education and Sport who is present in this meeting, namely Mr. Chibedi. So Mr. Chibedi, Abdul, I would like to invite you to speak to the members in this meeting room and close this community of practice officially.
Okay, thank you very much, Stephanie. I would like to say hello to everybody who has attended in this training, I would call it. It was unfortunate at the beginning, I could see many people getting out of the meeting. I don't know for what reason, but otherwise I appreciate whoever has been able to come. I also like to thank my TTE team that has been behind preparing this training, and particularly the presenters, Hanan, Bolan, please, thank you very much, and Stephanie, for the good work done. I believe from the comments I've been sharing with the members here that we have really picked a lot, and there is hope that the communities of practice is taking shape comparing to what it were about 1 month ago when we started it. I would like to inform members that e-learning has come to stay. And when we were launching the sandbox, it could not give really shape, but I think by now, members, you are seeing how it is helping us to reach our students. I would like to encourage you, like I sent one message, that let everybody, especially those of us who have been trained, to practice each of these tools that we are having in the sandbox. Practice it with your students, and then as we master it, let us also pass it on to all our colleagues, all lecturers in our respective colleges. We are looking at you, the help desk, as a critical mass that is going to put e-learning at the center of our education in this country. So look at yourself not only as a lecturer in your place, in your college, but we have started something that should be able to go across the country within a few months from now, because we need to see that there is continuity of learning. I would like to encourage your lecturers to ensure that we engage as many students in this continued learning as we can. Encourage students by mobilizing those you are in touch with to approach their colleagues, to invite their colleagues, to make sure that they participate, because we don't know yet when the colleges will be open, but we would like that by the time we come back, all students should be at almost the same level of learning. We should not leave out others. There are issues of data, there are issues of smartphones and so on and so forth, but please, as to those you can communicate to, let them convince their colleagues to make sure that they come on board. Since students, we are lucky we have big students who can make even money to buy data, to buy smartphones. They should utilize this time when they are at home to be able to engage themselves in acquiring ICT tools that enables them to continue to study, because this is going to continue. Actually, our feeling, like everybody knows, COVID-19 is here to stay for some time. Nobody knows when it will go away, and nobody can really say that we don't need ICT. ICT for education is very, very critical now in our learning and modern time. As I come to a conclusion, I would also like to sound in my request to all the colleges to invest more in ICTs where possible, where they can help our lecturers, especially the help desk group, to help others. Please let the college, the principals or administrators do that, especially those who are listening to me this afternoon. Let us help our lecturers to ensure that they help the continuity of learning. To the lecturers, please take this message to everybody. Government has continued to give us salary inside of the fact that we are not in a classroom to teach. So issues of thinking that I don't have data, I don't have a smartphone should not arise. We continue to get salaries. Government has even removed now pay as you earn for 6 months. So let people come on board and let people really see how to make sure that there is continuity of learning. I hope Stephanie and group, you'll be sending us, as you have said, the presentation, and we hope to be with you next Thursday. I would like to see numbers growing. When we started, I think I something like 39, but we would like to see everybody on board so that we continue to learn. Otherwise, once again, I thank all my colleagues who have participated in this classroom of Google Classroom training, and particularly those who have done the presentation. Stephanie, thank you for hosting us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kibedi, for those very nice words. Also, thank you very much to all the other participants and to the facilitators. And like Mr. Kibedi said, we hope to see you on board next week, and let's bring the numbers up. So thank you once more. Have a very nice rest of the day. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you very much, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.